Welcome back to the Financial Fisherman. Today we're gonna work with what we have. It's Friday, and you should be excited. The market usually does one of two things Friday: either they sell off for the week, or they buy. They buy and sell. It might sell off in the afternoon. Never really put a whole lot of credence in futures unless it's overwhelmingly one way or the other. Traders are very fickle people, and they'll sell their brother. They'd sell their brother to make money. That's not ruthless. That's just greed. That's American. That's what makes the American stock market tick. Greed versus fear. I tell people all the time that one day, my wife will understand that feed the 401k first is not wrong. It's just how it is. They set aside that money and protect it from taxes until you maybe move it to an IRA, or later on in life you take that money out. You can start at 59.5, but I'd suggest you wait till the very last second, and hopefully you never touch it, or you never touch it all, and you sequester it into boxes. Some people say buckets of money. I say boxes of money. The first box is your safe box. That's the 50% of money that you're allocated to all of your expenses. Then comes the next box, the 30%. The 30% of money that you should be investing. Somehow get the 30% if you can. If you can't, well then, get as high as you can. That's your money that is going to be invested for growth and income. Then the other 20% is your knockoff fund, your F-off fund, whatever you want to call it. And I can't say the words because it's YouTube and they'll ding me, but I gotta say that plenty of teenagers people live for experiences now. They'd rather spend their money on experiences than stuff. I'd rather spend my money on assets. The one and two things I'd spend it on, hopefully, are assets. That's just me, but I'm an anomaly, and I grew up with a Depression-era grandma that told me that, she lived like everything was her last dime. I had $1 to spend. We got free drink, free Coke in the morning, took the bus. She'd buy a shirt, buy a dress on Saturday, wear it to a wedding on Sunday, or buy a dress on Friday, wear it to a wedding on Saturday, and return it on Monday. And that's how she lived. And before she died, she had quite a portfolio. She had gold and silver, and she lived in an era when the prime interest rate, the Federal Reserve raised interest rates to cause a recession in 1981 to break the economy. We were in runaway inflation and low growth called stagflation. Anyway, just get started, man. Just get started. Buy some ETFs. Buy the S&P 500 fund. Just buy that. That's it. Buy the S&P 500 fund and a small cap fund. Maybe a little international. Maybe 60%, 20%, 10%. If you're under 40, you could put some bonds in there if you're scared, but have 100% stocks, but just diversify it out. Use ETFs only, index funds only. Go to Schwab, go to Fidelity. If you have to buy bonds, if you're terrified and you want to be old 60-40, that's fine too. Buy you some income producing assets. Get yourself a self-directed IRA. Spend the $400 initially, and then you can buy all bonds of Phoenix Energy and let them pay the fees. They're gonna start paying my fees soon, my preferred trust fees. So that's $400 I won't be spending. Get yourself a company. Just make a company. You can even be IRS considers it a hobby if you don't make money for the first 3 years, but you can still have to declare it as income. But more income's almost always better. And then the other thing is, there was a guy one time, I was watching a show, it was called The Money Show. I was watching a guy in person, and he said, everybody who would like $1 million tax bill, raise your hand. He's the only one that raised his hand. I didn't know what he was getting at. I thought about it. I would like one too, but I didn't raise my hand. I was in the crowd, I was a sheep. And he said, I want $1 million tax bill because that means I made 20-something million dollars, whatever it was. It was an insane, outrageous figure of money that you had to make to have $1 million in tax taxes to the IRS. Elon Musk paid $8 billion 1 year, and the senator was like, you didn't pay enough. That's the foolishness of today, you know. You look at politics and stuff, I don't even care about it. I don't care about, you know, every time the administration, and any administration, talks of war, whether it be Obama, Clinton, Bush, Trump, you name it, insert president. When they talk about it, the market goes down, I'm there to pounce. I pounce at the end too. I try not to buy often early in the morning unless I have a position from last night. I try not to fall on a rising knife. You know, I try not to fall on my sword, because there's better ways to do it. There's better ways to wait. Always patience is better. Always sell into a rally if you can. Never sell in a down day unless you're just you're gonna get creamed, and you can lock in a stop loss or a limit. And that's another thing. People don't know you can limit. You can say, I only want to buy this stock tomorrow if it's 850 or below. You can limit your stop loss. You can limit the amount that you lose. You can say sell if it gets to 855, but it gets to 854 and you're like, oh, I guess I'll just keep it and I'll sell later, or maybe it'll turn around. You know, you never know. People who watch charts all day, that's fine. Probably 10% of people can make it as a day trader. Other than that, you need to just keep your day job and just slog away. I'm gonna make my 22-year-old put $5,000 of the money she saved from her graduate assistant job. Eventually, if she can hit a certain number figure, I'm gonna make her put $5K a year away, and by the time she's 65, she'll have at least $800,000 if she plays her cards right, and this economy grows like I think it will. Just do that. Just be simple. You know, you don't have to be exquisite. I've gone exquisite, and I've lost money doing it. I've lost money on paper. I've lost money in real life, and I live to tell the tale. You know, I got my butt kicked in '94. I first bought this first stock fund. I got my butt kicked, and I got I had a little bit of hiccup in '98, and in 2000, I went down, but then I came back strong because I had Blue Chip Growth and Science Technology Fund. Then in 2008, same thing. Came back stronger, but I had Fidelity, I had money managers by that time. By that time, I made it to $46,000 in an IRA that I had. It was from an old 401k, and they managed my money for me. Anyway, at the risk of sounding boring, love y'all, and I'm getting ready to go get my coffee and start my day. We have a love and romance journey coming up, so I'll probably still be recording videos, but they'll be recreational and fishing, and you have to woo your wife. You still have to take her on dates. You still have to take her places, and even if you just send text messages during the day, as long as it's genuine. You don't want to just butter her up and say stuff like that. I don't know what to get her for her 51st birthday. I kept saying she was 50 and I was wrong. I posted and I was wrong. But I love her, and 34 years since the day we met this November. Where the hell did the time go? The neighbor down the street won't speak to us because we had a kid out of wedlock, so be it. We were 4 years, we were engaged, and then I cooked a fish dinner, and to this day, she didn't know about it till recently. Anyway, I gotta go, man. I'm going to save some lives, or keep people alive, or let them die with dignity. Senor, you can call me Senor Muy Buenos Dias. I used to watch a show where scantily clad women in Colombia danced every morning. That's what I did at 5:30 in the morning. Wasn't proud of it, but it is what it is. All right, I'm out.